See, I think we're okay. We are officially live.
We are live.
All right, y'all. So, got some family in the house. I'm not calling them guests. Why do you need guests when you have family? Your
That's
family
right.
and your family. We're all family.
All right.
So, yeah, that was my poor Vin Diesel impression. But got Blacktastic in the house here. Got Jacob Martin there. We're gonna be talking about the '80s cult classic period, Purple Rain, starring Prince himself, the man, the myth, the legend. So had to have Blacktastic on there because you're like the biggest Prince fan that I know. And Jacob, you're the young buck here. You haven't seen the movie, so
No.
it's just cool to get two different perspectives on it. And I have another perspective about to get here in a second. A quick surprise cameo if they answer the phone. But real quick, let me just run the intro here.
Nice.
1 second.
Prince in his first motion picture, Purple Rain.
And hopefully YouTube doesn't fuck with me about that. All right, so but before we get into it, hold up, I gotta make a quick y'all be quiet because he has no idea I'm gonna put him on YouTube.
Hey, the movie kid.
Hey, Pop, what's going on, man?
What's up, the movie kid?
The movie kid, sir, refer to me as movie man, all right?
Oh, okay. Movie man.
Yeah, so listen, I got a couple of minutes before I go live here. I just want to perfect my notes here because I want to kind of put out what you said about Purple Rings. I'm going live about Purple Rain in 3 minutes. So real quick, what did you think about the movie again?
I thought it was a decent movie, but it could have been better if Prince would have been a better actor. But don't say that.
Well, if he
don't say that. Just say it was entertaining. I don't know. I mean, son, don't give my point of view because it's not, I just didn't like him back in the day as an actor, and I don't like him now.
That's why I thought it was fascinating because being that you're from that time, it's very rare that you hear somebody from back then say that they didn't like it because it was a popular movie back then.
Well, the movie was good. Let's put it this way: the movie was decent.
Okay.
It wasn't real good. It was okay movie.
Okay.
But the acting, it was the Prince's dad, excellent.
Okay.
Morris Day, excellent. Good at.
Okay.
Prince, not so good.
All
That's
right.
my opinion. Singing, entertaining, he was excellent.
Okay.
Acting ability, man.
Terrible.
No, not terrible. It just didn't make the movie.
Okay. Well, one more question. Apollonia or Vanity?
Apollonia.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because Apollonia didn't have a lot of acting, I don't think. And I thought she was cute in the movie. The Vanity, she tries to twist her face and angles and get these side views of her ass. She's profiling more than she's acting.
Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
I like Apollonia. I just something about her. She's just a pretty.
All right.
That's the time because they both were pretty.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just something about Apollonia made it more exciting.
I think it was the late Minnetonka scene when she removed her top. I think that's what did it for you.
I think what did it for me was the fact that her face. She had a very pretty face.
Yeah, facts.
I looked at the face. I looked at the mouth, man, the teeth, the jawline, the eyebrow shit, the hair growing down the neck, the butt flow of the hair on the neck, and the butt, and the way it go down the side, and it was going around the curvature of the situation made it more exotic.
Okay. All right. Well, Pop, I gotta get ready to go live in about 2 minutes here. So
Follow your own intuition. Don't go by me because I'm an old man caught up in the mix. I don't know shit from
All right, Paul. Well, I'm gonna give you a call in a little bit, right?
Now, but what you do with your mom today, man?
Oh, I already went by there. I saw her already. I saw her and gave her a hug and a couple of dollars and got the heck out of Dodge.
Okay, you didn't take out dinner?
No, she cooked.
You didn't get no flowers?
I just gave her money. She don't be wanting flowers and stuff. I just gave her money.
Why would you call you with money?
She don't like all that stuff.
Oh, she don't like this stuff? Tell her, kiss your booty on the right hand side.
All right.
No, I'm just joking. I got up and I had wine before I ate. Man, bad idea.
Uh-oh.
All right, go on, do your thing, man.
All right, Pop. I'll call you in a little bit.
The granddaughter okay today?
Yeah, she good. Yeah, everybody's good.
Read a damn book, man, before I come down there and whoop her butt.
All right, we'll do, Pop.
No, I'm just joking. She's probably sitting there.
No. She's with her mom.
Okay, now don't tell her that.
All right.
Yeah, she has no confidence, man. You and Tanya got to work on that confidence thing with her.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, well, but my guests are coming in right now, Pops. I'm gonna call you back.
Tell your guests to kiss my butt.
No, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Tell your guests that I come down there and bitch slap the shit out of all of them. I talk to you later.
All right, Pop. I'm sorry about that, man.
Don't be sorry.
I'm sorry about the extra stuff, man.
Your dad reminded me of Richard Pryor.
Yeah. You know what? And if you saw him back in the day, he had the Pryor afro and the mustache and everything, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
so
he was hilarious.
That's a tough.
you know what? I can tell you had a couple of drinks too, man. When he has a couple of cocktails, he goes to talking like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
He wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. So this is from an OG. All right. So, we're gonna go around here. So, Jacob, that's gonna be a tough act to follow, man. What you think about Purple Rain?
Well, first off, I got to tell you about my little history with Prince because I'm in the younger camp. I didn't grow up when Prince was big. I don't think I actually appreciated his music until I'd say after he died, which I think was like 2016 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I ever heard a Prince song was probably when I saw Batman '89 for the first time. And
wow.
Where the Joker's raiding like the art gallery and Party Man's playing. And at the time, because I was a kid, I mainly listened to a lot of country music. So I didn't listen to a lot of like other outside music than that. So when I first watched it, I was like, who is that? What is this?
Yeah.
I didn't get it at first. It took me a while to get used to, I think, that style of music. And so at first I thought the Prince song was terrible. And that was only because I wasn't used to that style of music yet. But, the older I started listening and experimenting with other music and genres from past and present. And so years later, I think Prince is a genius. I think he's awesome. I like, the unique style that he brings to, like, the music industry. And I love, like, his, like, over-the-top flamboyance that he brought. He was very larger than life. His stage presence, especially when watching Purple Rain, is fantastic, and I've appreciated his music the older I've gotten, and especially now that Prince is no longer with us. I think he was a absolute genius. And so I had never seen this movie until I think a week ago at the time of the stream. And I gotta be honest, I actually really like the movie. I don't think it's great or anything. Like your dad was saying, the acting I don't think was the best. But musically, the movie was great. Like, the movie saves itself, in my opinion, because of Prince's musical numbers and the soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing. So many great songs. And I'd heard a lot of these Prince songs already. Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy. Those are all fantastic songs. So it was great seeing them, I guess, in the context of the movie's narrative. I was especially blown away by how When Doves Cry was incorporated into the movie, kind of reflecting upon Prince and the isolation that he's had throughout his life. I thought was fantastic looking at it through the movie's perspective, and it makes the lyrics all the more profound, in my opinion. Of course, Purple Rain is a classic for a reason. When he sings that at the end of the movie, I got goosebumps watching it. That was an amazing song. And some of these other songs I'm not as familiar with were pretty good too. I was not prepared for Darling Nikki. That was a trip. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was
A little race.
that's the movie's R rating right there.
Yeah, he was in rare form when he did that
Oh,
one, man.
man,
He
I
was
was-
definitely a
I was like, it was interesting though. I'll give him that.
Okay. So, you know what? I'm surprised, bro, because I didn't think you were gonna like it because Purple Rain is definitely a product of his time. It's definitely 80s. You know what I mean? And a lot of stuff in that movie would definitely get canceled nowadays.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Now I'm gonna get there real quick.
Yeah.
So the purify yourself in the lake. That scene, I was like, I was shocked at that scene. I'm like, Prince is like a butthole there. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would he do?
He was kind of an asshole in the movie. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
A part of me, I was like a little like taken aback by that. Like Prince was willing to go there, I guess as a persona. But I guess when you look at the story, when you see, he had a troubled childhood, he has an abusive father, and he's struggling, to find himself as a person and try to be his own man instead of like falling into the traps that his dad was. I think when I realized where the story was heading, I'm like, okay, it makes sense why Prince is a little unlikable. He has a lot of trauma in him, and I think is why I think I got into Prince's performance the most out of all of the actors in the movie, because some of the acting I don't think is that good. Like the main love interest in the movie, I thought, for lack of a better word, I thought she was attractive, but her acting not so much. I'll just put it bluntly. I wasn't a fan of her character. She seemed kind of useless at the end of the day too, because she's like, oh, I want to have a singing career, and all she ends up doing pretty much is like hanging out with Prince. They get in bed together. That's about it.
Jacob, that's a good point. Yeah, because she's like the main love interest, and at first the movie appears like it's going to focus on her and her journey, the way it starts out, and then when you realize no, it's about the kid, and she kind of takes a back seat, and then they almost over sexualize her, which I'm not mad at, but of course now they say, oh my god, that she was over sexualized, and he abused her, he hit her a couple of times.
Her at one point. That shocked me too.
I think he smacked her twice. Well, he backhanded her one time, and she fell and knocked all the CDs and stuff off the dresser. And then he mushed her on the ground, and then got on top, and he was like he was about to hit her again. Yeah. So a lot of stuff that would have got canceled in this movie, and they even used the word rhymes with maggot, starts with an F.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With long hair.
With long hair, yeah, long-haired maggot. So, all right, so Blacktastic, what about you, bro? I already know what you're gonna say, but go ahead, take the floor. But what you think about Purple Rain?
What I think about Purple Rain, let me see here. I can't disguise this pounding in my heart. It beats so strong. It's in your eyes. What can I say? They turn me on.
All right.
Man, I was underage when I seen this movie, but back then we used to sneak in. And I had a deep voice since I was like 11. So I was like, yeah, I'm 18. And went in there with my homies. And I really got into Prince during the Controversy album, 1999 album, going into Purple Rain. But up until this point, all I seen were like music videos on MTV and stuff like that. So Prince had this persona. I didn't know what he sounded like. I didn't know how he talked except on record. So this was totally new for me. And the opening of that movie, man, you see his silhouette, and it says Prince, Purple Rain, and that fonts and that purple lettering. And then he does the intro to Let's Go Crazy. And I got goosebumps. The whole theater was like being at a concert. When that guitar ripped, dun, 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 we was up dancing and hollering. It was like I said, being at a concert. And it was one of the best movie experiences of my life. Because I didn't know who Prince was. I knew I loved his music, but I guess it was loosely based on his life. You know, abusive father. Father was a musician. Mother was a jazz singer. Interracial relationship. She was Puerto Rican. He was black. And he was abusive. He was talented. He was also a drunkard. The mother had problems. A strange relationship with her son Prince. It was an awkward relationship, but one that was profound. And it gave me some insight to who Prince was. And like Jacob said, once you learn who Prince was, you go back and listen to his music, and it gives it way more meaning. I mean, way more meaning. I'm going back to his old albums leading up to Purple Rain, and I fell in love with the artist. I already loved his music, but I had sympathy and empathy for the artist itself. And Purple Rain worked on so many levels. And I got to be honest, there was only one actor in that movie. Yeah, that's the guy that played Prince's dad. I think he was in what's that show back in the day?
The Mod Squad. Yeah, he was Lincoln Hayes in the Mod Squad. Yeah, Clarence. I think his name was Clarence Williams III.
Yeah, he was the only actor of any panache in that whole film. Other than that, it was people in bands being themselves. I mean, his bodyguard, that was really his bodyguard in real life. The guy with the big beard, it was white and gray, Morris Day. They was being themselves. So the acting is horrible. But from a standpoint of being realistic and who they were as people, it worked in the frame of the film. But love this film. One of the best movie experiences in my entire life. Is it a great film? No. But over a period of time, even bad films become classics. You know, that's just the way it is.
Facts. Yeah. My first time watching Purple Rain, it was because mind you, this is a time of the breakdance era. You know what I mean? And at the time, you know, there was only like a handful of hip hop movies that came out. So you had Wild Style and Breakin', Beat Street. You know, even though they were all different, but they were all the same because it had to do with breaking and hip hopping and bebopping and all that shit. Right. And then Purple Rain comes along. You had this little short guy dressed like Mozart with a curl and not rapping and not spitting records, but he's playing a guitar and playing the shit out of it. And it was like nothing I've ever seen before. So even as a little 5-year-old kid, I'm like, what is this? This is different, you know? And mind you, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Like, you know, something about Michael and kids, you know, kids just really gravitate towards Michael, you know?
Yes.
People can take that any way they want, so I can hear it now, you know. And Michael and kids, nah, not like that. But big Michael Jackson fan. The Prince came with Purple Rain. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And at the time, I really didn't appreciate the movie because I had the attention span of a Cocker Spaniel, so I was just in it for the music. You know, I could care less about the story and none of that. You know, and then the late Minnetonka scene, I used to pause that like all the time and just like stare at the TV screen for like minutes. You know what I mean?
I bet I know what shot.
Yeah, like you have to pause at the right moment. Oh, there you go, y'all. There you go. I got it. But yeah, but the movie just had an authenticity to it. Like you said, Blacktastic, even though they're not actors, even though they're being themselves, but that just added to it was real, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like you were watching a documentary.
There you go, yeah.
But with lines, you know what I mean? And to me, the standout to me was Morris. Morris Day cracked me the fuck up. That guy is crazy, man. I love Morris. And and even though Prince is the protagonist, but I'm like, damn, who's the bigger asshole? Prince or Morris? Because only reason that Prince is more where you kind of gravitate more towards Prince was because of what he went through at home. If it wasn't for that, he'd be because he was an asshole to his band. He was abusive to Apollonia.
Yes.
You know, he was a jerk on stage. You know, he didn't care about what the crowd like. He just played his music even though nobody got it. You know. Right. But Morris was that guy, man. I wanted to be Morris growing up. Morris was a pimp.
Me too. Yeah.
The scene, the scene that I love is when he tried to hit on Apollonia, right? And he was drunk, and he was like, "Yo, your lips will make a lollipop too happy." And then she's all flattered like, "Oh, stop." He said, "Oh Lord, either somebody put something in my drink, either finds motherfucker you ever seen." Excuse me, what did you say? You look nice.
Nice tonight.
Yeah, man. You know, just love this movie. And directed by who's the director? Albert.
I can look it up.
Oh,
real quick.
I think his name is Albert Magnoli. I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, come to find out, he also directed Sign of the Times,
Mm-hmm.
which Prince was supposed to have directed, but he ghost directed that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. So watching.
It says he also became Prince's manager.
Really?
Yeah, Albert Magnoli or something.
Magnoli.
Like
Okay, I knew I was saying that right. Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at his filmography right now. Yeah, he directed Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm.
American Anthem. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I remember that movie. I remember that. Yeah, that was a gymnast movie. Yeah, so imagine Purple Rain, but in the Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, so you take gymnastics and add a Prince soundtrack to it. That's American Anthem.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So I think y'all answered this. So favorite performance in the movie, Jacob. You said Prince was your favorite.
Easily.
Okay. All right.
Because you can just feel like his raw emotions. Like even though his acting's not the best, you can feel it in the way that he performs, and even some small moments of where he doesn't have to act like express any dialogue. Like some of the expressions on his face, like you can just feel the sheer anger that he does have. Like especially after his dad dies at the end, the anger that he got from that, where he like breaks all his records and stuff like that. You could just feel the frustration that he has in that moment. I'm like, this is actually really good acting. I might have been skeptical at first, but by the end of it, I'm like, this is some raw talent that I wish we had a little bit more of. I saw your little live discussion a few weeks ago on some of his other movies. Apparently, they weren't near
Under
as
the
good
Cherry Moon,
as Purple Rain, but man, I bet if he was given the right direction, he could have been like a fantastic Oscar-winning actor.
Well, that's a bold statement, but you know what? I think the director made the difference because Prince directed Under the Cherry Moon, and you can tell he did not know what he wanted. He didn't know what he wanted the movie to be. Albert Magnola, like he played on their strengths instead of their weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Which they have a lot of weaknesses. Okay, but let's play to what Prince is good at. You know what I'm saying? Let's put him in a real situation because it's loosely based on his life. So, okay, let's use that. Let's use how your father made you feel. That's probably what helped his performance. And plus, the story, even though really simple, but stayed on track. This movie knew what it was. It didn't try to be any more or less. It just straight and narrow. Under the Cherry Moon was like all over the place. Comedy, film noir, musical, drama, love story. Like, come on, man. It felt like a fucking octopus,
Kind of reminds me, I guess, of some of the scenes in this movie where the band wants to play something. He's like, no, I got to do this. I got to express what I want to do. I don't care what anybody else says. And that's how we got Darling Nikki, whatever that was.
Darling Nikki. All right, so Blacktastic, your favorite performance in the movie?
I got to walk away with Morris Day being my favorite and Prince right under him. Morris, I wanted to be Morris when I left watching that film. I didn't.
He was cool. Morris was cool. Yeah.
I mean, mustache. I didn't have any freckles, but in 8th grade we had a lip sync contest, and I did Morris Day at the time with my cousin. And this one I had a little job, so I bought my first jacket. It was flamboyant. I got that skinny tie with the pianos keys on there. I wanted to be Morris Day. We did The Bird. We did Jungle Love. And he influenced me heavily after that movie because I knew who the time was, but after that movie, I went back and got all their albums. And I'm like, wait a minute. That scene that you're talking about, he's hitting on Apollonia, is absolutely on one of his albums, almost line for line. I'm like, man, Morris Day is one smooth cat. And I loved his laugh. The way he danced was cool. His homeboy Jerome did everything he said to do. He just goes, Jerome will take a woman
Jerome
and throw her in the damn dumpster. That was one of the coolest relationships. And his band was just on time. The dancing, the mirror, the whole package. I love Prince more, but it was practical to be like Morris Day because I couldn't cut my legs off, grow long hair, and be pretty as hell to look like Prince. It was more
Cut
practical
your
to be
legs
doing
off.
like Morris Day. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And I gotta say this because the newbie who's watching this for the first time.
Okay.
And I mean, I have heard Jungle Love before. That is an absolute earworm, by the way. And I had no idea that the song was actually going to be in the movie, nor the group who sang it. So that was an absolute shock to me.
Oh, nice.
And then it surprised me even more to find out that Prince wrote the song, and that made it even cooler. I'm like, no wonder why it's in the movie. They were good buddies in real life.
Yeah, well, Prince created the Morris Day persona because, I mean, Blacktastic, you know the story how Morris, he was a drummer in Prince's original band, and Prince wanted to put a group together. He wanted to put a group together, and at the time, Alexander O'Neal was the lead singer, and him and Prince fell out. So Alexander O'Neal was out. He looked at the drummer and said, "Hey, you're going to be the lead singer." And Morris was like, "I can't sing. Like, what the hell do I do?" And Prince said, "Just put your hand in your pocket and be cool." And and Morris Day was born.
Yep.
And I think that was the first single, Cool.
Cool. That's right.
Yeah. So, Prince that guy was such a genius. He created the time and Morris's persona. He created, the Apollonia 6, which is Vanity 6. Like, you'd be surprised how many artists that Prince wrote for, man. Like, it's like a who's who list of, wow, Prince actually wrote that song and like he produced that. Yeah, Prince is all over the place, man. That was a bad motherfucker.
I know you're a big country fan. He wrote a song, one of Kenny Rogers' biggest hits. Prince wrote for him.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I love Kenny Rogers.
One of his biggest hits. Prince wrote for him. He wrote for Sheila E. He wrote for Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, I know he wrote Nothing
The
Compares to
Bangles.
You. That's a great song.
Of course, Vanity 6. Man, Prince just, and he did things under another moniker. He used to call himself the Star, the Kid.
Right.
Man, he basically wrote all the Times albums. That's basic. I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I'm just saying he was just a musical genius, man.
Oh yeah, Sheena Easton. That's correct. That's correct. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were at the time. Yep, and he fell out with them. Yeah, Prince had, for all the relationships that he had a fallout with like everybody. Like everybody fell out with Prince, man. Well, here's the thing. So in Purple Rain, right now, Morris is your favorite performance, but Morris was high as a kite during that whole movie, man. There were times they had to actually physically drag him out of wherever he was at, sober him up a little bit, and get in front of the camera and do your thing. So the performance you see is a high, intoxicated performance.
Yes.
And after the movie, him and Prince, like, they just went like, because they actually had a fist fight on set.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they had a fist fight. Morris walked in, hired Prince, like, "The fuck are you doing, Morris? You fucked up the movie." And they just like went at it. Yeah, but hey, sometimes when you're at your highest, like Richard Pryor, for example. Richard Pryor, some of his best shit was when he was high. I don't know, something about them drugs, man, just bring out the best performance out of you.
A lot of artists go into the studio and get high and create their best music.
Yeah.
You remember DOC, getting funky, wrote that high.
Big as a kite. Yeah. What's the other? Melly Mel, White Lines. Remember that song, White Lines? Supposed to be an anti-drug song, Jacob. Supposed to be an anti-drug song. And this dude's in the studio writing this song.
Doing lines.
Here is the driven snow.
He's to practice what he preaches.
Exactly, man. Exactly. These guys
do
were
drugs. Never mind.
Yeah, and that was one of the lines in the song. Yeah, don't do it. Free base. And he's sitting there getting high as a kite.
Liar.
Yeah, get higher, baby. And don't never come down. Free base. Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah, rough. So, all right, so let's talk about scenes now, right? So, favorite scene in the movie. I'll start, right? To me, the coldest scene in the movie, y'all, besides the Lake Minnetonka scene, which is just for lust reasons, but the scene that got me, that showed how bad Prince was when he performed The Beautiful Ones. and made made Apollonia cry in front of Morris. Now, mind you, Morris is trying to hit on her. Like he's trying to do his smooth this, pimp shit. And Prince gets on there. He's like, all right, I'm gonna show you how it's done. Performs the beautiful ones, right? Has her there crying. That after the show, she walks up on him, and Prince with that smirk on his face, got this bitch. Cold. That's some cold shit. That messed me up. I'm like, yo, that's my hero for life, man. If I could ever pull off anything half like that, man,
Thank you.
come on.
That is superhero power.
What?
To
make a girl cry?
To be on stage while she's sitting with a dude and look them in the face on stage and point, I gotta know, do you want me?
Yeah.
I mean, he gave it everything. He got on his knees and begged. And wow.
Yeah, he even showed some chest there. He had his taco meat hanging out,
Yeah. I know
what I want.
He knew.
Yeah. So that's my personal favorite scene, man.
Yeah, that is a great scene. I always get blown away by Prince's vocal range. Like even on that song where at the end where like he takes his shirt off and he's like, "Come to me, baby!" I'm boxing Prince in front of him. I'm like, it always kind of blows me away, like how versatile his singing range was. Like he has like a good I guess normal sounding voice that anybody can sing along with, but then when it gets those falsettos, it's like, whoa! It's impressive
I can't do that
how far it can go.
Yeah. Even in his anger, like you say, okay, that scene you were talking about, right? Even though that was a good performance, but Jacob, you have to admit, it was funny when he was going through his father's musical sheets, right? You can hear him; he's all, and I'm like, dude, put some bass in that shit, man. I couldn't.
But I still believe the pain he was going through, even if his acting wasn't fully the best.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because Prince, let's be real, y'all. Prince is a genius, and, he was great, but not the most masculine guy in the world.
No.
Even when he smacked Apollonia, I didn't believe for 1 second that I thought at any moment Apollonia was going to get up and whoop his ass. Because he's got on like 5-inch heels, and they're still about the same height. You know what I mean? And he backhands her, and he's sitting there like, and I'm like, dude, your arm is like the size of my hand. What are you going to do to her, man? I just didn't buy it. Yeah, even with this fall, okay, one more, last one. I swear I'm sober as a judge. But last one, when his fall, okay, when he saw his mother on the side of the road, right? She was all beat up.
Oh,
and he comes in the house with his chest out, right? He's like, where are you? Answer me, motherfucker.
My honest thoughts when we got to that part, I'm like, dude, I give you credit for trying, but you ain't no Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, well, he puts the ER with it. Like, okay, black people, when we say that word, we put an A on that. We say either motherfucker or motherfucker. We take out the TH. Yes, you motherfucker or you motherfucker. But he's like, where are you, motherfucker? With the hard ER at the end.
Oh my God, yes.
What is he gonna do to him? Like the dad already slapped the shit. Like his dad smacked him so hard, he went to the next room. What is he gonna do to him?
Nothing.
So, what point am I trying to make? Yeah, Prince is just not the most masculine guy in the world. So when it came to him doing like masculine shit, I didn't buy it.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the movie that makes me laugh every time to this very day. It's the scene in the movie where they're playing When Doves Cry as like a video, as like a montage. There's a scene, he's at Lake Minnetonka, and he takes off on a bike, and he loses control, and he kind of goes to the side like this.
I didn't notice that, bro. I didn't notice that.
After
I gotta watch that again.
Please, go watch that. He's trying to be cool. He goes, It is hilarious.
I actually missed that, but the one part that kind of caught me off guard, because I love that song and I love the sequence in general, but there was that one, like, I guess like 5-second shot of like Prince and the woman in the bar. I'm like,
oh yeah,
This turned to a porno for a second. And then kind of way, I'm like, okay, it was so close to getting weirdly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They edited
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they definitely cut that out. Yeah, because that scene was supposed to be a lot longer.
Yes.
And the MPA was like, you got to cut out a titty. You have to remove a boob or something. You can't. That's why I think that's why Vanity dropped out of the movie, because in the original script, in the original cut, Vanity and Prince supposed to have like a really long, like Cinemax type sex scene, and Vanity was like, no, I'm not going for that. And she did Last Dragon instead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was I gonna maybe so did both of y'all give y'all favorite scene?
My
ahead.
favorite scene, there's so many to choose from, but if I have to be honest, I agree with you, Rashad. That's right there. But when he took that long pause and he looked at Wendy and told her to do the opening for Purple Rain, and she started playing the guitar, and the audience was looking at him like, what is he going to do? Because everybody knew he lost his father. Well, almost lost his father. At the time, he thought his father was dead. You thought he was dead until the last song, Baby I'm a Star, and they showed that he wasn't alive in the hospital. At this point, we thought he lost his father. Yeah. And the way he kept looking into the crowd, and when he started singing that song, Purple Rain, and he had that jacket with the, the purple on, it just touched me. It just touched me in a way that I'm like, wow, man, you fell in love with Prince. He was an asshole throughout the movie. He was awkward. It was weird. But at that point, everybody in his presence that evening, even the club owner was like, all right, man, you got me. You got me. Yeah. That's my favorite scene in the movie. Morris was messed up. Apollonia was crying. He ran off stage and was panning back and forth in the room. Then he heard the applause, and he stopped. And he walked out the room. The blonde girl was crying. Apollonia was crying. And I'm like, wow, that was powerful. Beautiful. That was powerful.
Bro, can you think of another performance of a song in a movie that had an impact like that? Like, I mean, right now, bro, if we in this live stream right now, and I put on that movie and that scene comes on, even sober, I'm a water bag.
Yep, me too.
You know what I mean? That song gets me no matter how many times I hear it, especially when I see it. Now, God forbid if I have some tequila in me, man, I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
I'm doing this shit with a cup in my hand, Yeah.
And another thing about that movie, see, the album came out months before the movie came out, so I had the vinyl. So I played the album from beginning to end, and it was okay. It was a great album, but until you've seen the movie, it puts all the songs into context.
Right.
Yeah.
And after hearing Purple Rain, after watching the movie, it's a different song. After hearing When Doves Cry, after watching the movie, it's a different song. And The Beautiful Ones, that movie made that album. It's a trip.
Right. No, facts. Yeah. I think we all had the vinyl back then.
Yes.
Just recently, my daughter, she'll be 17 in 2 weeks, and she's really into Prince. Like, I got her the vinyl album, and matter of fact, she was just playing it the other day because I was on the phone with her mom, and her mom was going off on her about cleaning up, and she was blasting "I Would Die for You," which in reality, I know what she really wanted to sing was "I Don't Give a Fuck,"
At that stage in their life.
At that stage, yeah. That album was crazy. Every song in there was a hit. Like you can listen to that from beginning to end and not skip a single song. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's how bad Purple Rain was, man. I mean, shit. If you compare it to Thriller, that's a tough one.
The only thing I would skip was that little demon backwards part.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That part was weird. Back then, that's when you spin records backwards.
And
when you spin it back, I think it says "I love Jesus." But at the time, I thought he was saying some devil stuff. Kind of scared the hell out of me.
Okay, well, okay, that was the same. That was the same sound where him and Apollonia were together, right? They was like, the first time they was like getting intimate or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And she thought the girl was crying, but she was actually laughing because he was playing it backwards. Prince was into some weird stuff, but yeah.
He was. Well, even that scene was very awkward because this is the first time they're being intimate with each other, right? And she's playing with this taco meat, and she's like, King Kong, stop.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
not the
anybody
most masculine guy in the world.
and anybody that got clowns and masks in their room, see, I don't like clowns and I don't like masks. All that porcelain gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was like, ugh, I don't like getting naked in this room. This is crazy.
Oh man. So Jacob, so let me ask you, so all right, would you agree? Okay, well, I think you said that too, that Purple Rain.
The Purple Rain,
like,
I would say, was probably the best scene. So I can't really say too much else on that because that's such a fantastic scene. Gave me goosebumps.
Right.
Easily the best song in Prince's career. It's like that and When Doves Cry are neck and neck for me. But I'd say the most electrifying thing that I also love in this movie to carry on with Purple Rain, like the encore after that, where he's saying like "I would die for you,"
I would die for you.
The other song. As soon as he sang that, I'm like, I mean, I have issues with the movie, but I can't fault the movie too bad because I just have a good time with these songs.
Yes.
Facts. I mean, dude, if you want to watch cinematic masterpiece, watch like Taxi Driver or The Godfather or something. But if you just want to have a good time and just nod your head and just like Purple Rain is the movie for you, man. Just the the music, the electricity, just the charm, just the charisma of the movie. Even though they can't act worth a damn, but the movie just has such a charm. You can't take your eyes off the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much me. Like I had issues with some of the acting. Like Morris was a fun person, but his acting was a little cringe in my opinion. The what's her name? The Apollonia.
Apollonia.
I don't know where Appaloosa came from. That's like a western or something.
Is that a name of a town?
Like Apollonia was like the cringiest part of the movie because like they set up her character and she went nowhere. Like the one song I didn't like was like the song where she actually sang. I'm like,
Sex Shooter? Oh, you didn't like Sex Shooter? Oh.
No, I didn't think she was that good of a singer, and just like the whole song just screamed cringe to me. Like,
right.
I just didn't really buy that she would go that far and try to be like the sex symbol type, character or figure in music. Like Prince could pull that off, and I'm sure if he sung the song, which I think he wrote it. I think if he had sung it, I think it'd have been more believable. But I didn't care for that sequence at all. But the rest of the songs are fantastic, especially the ones Prince sang.
Well, even though this song was not that, but that scene was it was crucial to the film because that was from the first time you seen Prince actually sweat like holy shit. Like, because remember the manager was like, I have 2 acts, I don't need 3, so one of y'all has to go. So being that the crowd was so crazy about the song, you see Prince looking like shit. I might be done. This might be the end of me, And then Morris is like, even Morris looked back at him like, yeah, got your ass.
One thing I love about cinema are certain scenes with no lines that pulls you in. Like my favorite scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones is with Marion, you can tell she still loves him, and the little monkey jumps in her head and they're talking. They're in I think Cryo, and she just looks at him with a look. I'm like, wow, I love that. Apollonia cannot act. At the time, she became a better actress, but the one thing she did in that movie that totally got me is when she got out of the late minute talk and he took off for a while and she was running with all her clothes and falling down. When she got on the bike and she turned her head and looked at him where her hair was wet, she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in life.
Yes.
And Prince looked at her, don't get my seat all wet. She didn't say anything, but just that look, I'm like, wow, she is flawless.
She is beautiful.
I will say, I didn't mind watching her with those leather pants that she had on. I'm like, man, she was kind of nice back in the day.
She was smoking, man, and it was hard to tell what
it was cringe though.
Yeah, and it was hard to tell what ethnicity she was too. So I'm like, okay, is she black? Is she mixed? And when I looked it up, she's actually Mexican.
Oh,
Mexican.
Like she's full Mexican. I'm like, damn.
I don't know.
Surprised the hell out of me. Whew, I thought she was mixed.
Hey, I can get turned on by a Mexican accent.
Yeah.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah.
So
She had
Mike.
she was definitely a knockout, man. And but yeah, her story, yeah, like you said, Jacob, her story didn't go anywhere. And it's like I guess her arc, well, not even an arc, but I guess her story ended when she performed sexually because all she wanted was to get on stage and show what she can do. And then when that happened, it's like, and that was it. Like, okay, her dream is accomplished. Now she just, takes a back seat.
And I don't really get why she was in the movie to begin with, because she started off, she was like, she fell in love with Prince, and then she, formed her own band under the influence of Morris, and Prince got jealous over that. And I think, to me, the end was not just Prince trying to, restore his own musical self, but also trying to restore patches with her because he treated her bad. Mm-hmm. And to me, it just kind of went nowhere. So I'm like, why was she even in this movie if, like, the musical aspect of her underwhelmed me, and the character was nothing to write home about except she was hot. That was it.
That's the thing, Jacob. Back in the 80s, eye candy was very important to a film. So
yeah,
I think the purpose that she served in this movie was eye candy, to bring in, young, horny teenagers that want to see a pretty face. That's. I mean, the same thing. Like you watch
me had I seen it younger.
Yeah, like you watched The Last Dragon. Same thing with Vanity. Vanity was in The Last Dragon for eye candy. That's the only purpose her character served.
Yeah.
So that's why
Vanity was terrible. Vanity wasn't a good actress either, but Apollonia was exceptionally bad. But everything she did turned me on. When her foot got stuck in the door. Ooh!
Hey, but tell me you didn't get a good laugh though, where her and Prince were together, right? She buys him the guitar, and it was like a nice, tender, beautiful moment. He's playing the guitar. He's like, "Oh no, I can't believe you did this." He said, "How'd you do it?" And then all of a sudden, the music stops. I'm gonna join Morris's group. What? I'm gonna join Morris's group, baby.
I always love it in movies when music stops whenever there's like a big shocker, because I always
And she sold it too, man. As bad as actress as she is, she sold that shit because he hit her and she knocked like all the tapes and stuff off the dresser. And he's all, "Baby, I'm sorry. Don't you love me, Apollonia? Did I make you happy?" Sound like his pops, I guess that was the whole point of that, because it's like, he's just like his father. I'm sorry.
You gotta give them credit. They didn't have no stunt man. So when she got supposedly slapped, she did a good job. And Prince getting knocked into the next room.
Yeah.
Some good slaps in this movie. Some really good slaps and those were special effects back then.
Yeah, listen, like you said, no stuntmen, so they had to perform their own shit. So when you see Prince fly in the other room, that was actually Prince.
And when Morris got kicked by Prince on a motorcycle, he went flying into the trash.
He said, "Stop, motherfucker! You long-haired maggot!" Oh my goodness. Yeah, but so that's why when Prince walked in the house like he was gonna do something to his father, I'm like, bro, what are you gonna do? Like, even his father wasn't even worried about him. Like, Prince is standing over him. He's just like chilling, like, "Hey man, you got a girlfriend? You gonna get married? Don't ever get married." Then the next music cue kicks in. Doom, 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 doom. You see him walk out smoking a cigarette.
The most intense part in that movie when he tried to commit suicide and he was laying there and he was boy, that part got me. That freaked me out.
Yeah. As a kid, I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, what's wrong with him? Like, what happened? Because you don't actually see the gunshot. You see him turn the light switch on, then the gun goes off, and then you see him convulsing on the stretcher. So as a 5-year-old, I'm like, well, what the fuck did I miss? Like, what's going on with him? I didn't get it at the time.
Did it show like a gun wound to his head? It was wrapped in bandages.
Right.
That part was intense. That got me.
I'll tell you what, that actor, Clarence Williams III, if you want to see another great performance by him, check out Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah.
Where he played the junkie father. Man, you feel like very underrated actor, man. Very underrated.
He's great.
He was great.
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. Yep.
Yeah. Everything he touches, he's golden in.
Even this one, like, even though he wasn't in the movie long, but he did give the movie some legitimacy because of his performance.
Yes.
You know, what's wrong with this house? Don't I keep the heat on? You know, like he was scary.
His eyes,
His eyes, yeah. You know,
Yeah, I'd
So,
say out of all the other actors, I say Prince was really good in the movie, but the dad, I thought, because you said he was like the only like legit actor in the movie, he was pretty intense, and I really liked his performance. Like, I hated his character, but you felt for Prince in those moments where you're like, Prince has his own demons and issues, but the movie focusing on the trauma and the abuse. And how he inflicts that upon others because of his own personal trauma. Like, it all fits together, and it makes, especially the Purple Rain sequence, all the more powerful. Especially when he learns about the news of his what happened to his dad, and then he sings and he dedicates the song to his dad. And I'm like, once he said that, I'm like, well, Purple Rain has a whole new meaning for me now. I thought the whole song was like a like broken romance or something was what I first thought the song was about. And I'm like, no, it's a lot deeper than that. And I'm like, man, this is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard, and it's phenomenal.
Facts. And then knowing that this is like, loosely based off on his own life, because his father, Prince's real father, was actually like a very brilliant musician. That's how Prince got so good, because his father was like, imagine Earl Woods, but dark, like, like just evil, like Earl Woods, like with Tiger Woods, but evil with it. Like he used to torture Prince as far as like, but that's how he got so good. You know what I mean? And so when you see that, it's like, because remember he said that he never wrote any of the songs down. We'll come to find out he did. He had a whole fucking chest full of music that he wrote down. Yeah. So that's powerful shit.
And this movie has a lot of little tidbits that people don't know about. The one uncomfortable scene where Prince's mom gets beat up, and they come down to his little basement, was fighting down there, and his father leaves, and his mother stayed there, and he puts his hand on his mom's knee and said, "Mom." He wakes up the next morning wearing his mom's earrings. You remember that?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that.
That part was cut out the movie because it was suggesting that something could have. It was weird because back then. But he puts his hands on his mom's knee and goes, "Mom." Then the next day, those are his mom's earrings that he's wearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
was that the same earring that he took off and then threw it to Apollonia, or
it might have been a different one then?
A different one. Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it.
I didn't know. Damn.
I did a lot of research on that because this movie was chopped up, and there was supposed to be a love scene between Apollonia and Morris Day, and that was also cut off the film. So this movie,
really,
yeah.
Damn the MPAA, man! I can't stand those bastards, man.
Well, you gotta remember, this movie was very sexually
explicit.
Induced.
Yeah, very explicit.
And they cut a lot of stuff out.
Oh man, just imagine what a lot of our classics would be like if they would just let the filmmakers do what they do. So especially back then, like in the 80s, even though you can't get away with stuff now that you did in the 80s, but they butchered a lot of fucking movies over stupid stuff.
Thank you.
Like for some reason this comes to mind, like Scarface, the chainsaw scene. They cut that heavily.
Yes, they did.
You know what I mean? Friday the 13th, was it part 7? Like before Jason puts the knife in somebody, it cuts to something else. I'm like, why y'all fuck with stuff, man? Damn.
Yeah.
Look, now I want to see the uncut version of Purple Rain now.
And another good example, I've been going through all the Scream movies for the first time over on my channel, and I learned, with Scream 3, Wes Craven was forced to tone down the horror elements from the MPAA because, Columbine happened around the same time. Scream 3 came out, and the horror movies were like the scapegoat of people blaming the movies for the real violence, which is rubbish in my opinion.
Ridiculous.
The movie suffered because of that, because the horror aspects were not good in that movie.
Yeah, like your boy Billy Loomis said, look, movies don't create psychos, movies make psychos more creative. Which I don't think that's a good example. That's a good. that probably doesn't help the case. Like, well, makes it more creative. Yes, damn. Never mind. it was a cool quote, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so wrapping up Purple Rain. My grade, I give it an A. Only reason I can't give it an A plus is because of some of the laughably bad moments in this movie where when you watch it now, you're like, that's so cringe, but still, I love this movie. I can't take my eyes off of it. So I give it an A. So
I second that motion. I can't give it an A plus. I give it an A, but guys, watch that scene when they play when Doves Cry. He takes off on a motorcycle. He almost loses it.
That would have been the funniest shit.
You are gonna die laughing. Oh, please watch that scene.
Oh my god, yeah, because Prince ain't nothing but like 5 foot, like 5'2", and he's on this big ass motorcycle. Man, that'd have been the funniest thing ever.
Well, the funny thing is that motorcycle was tailor made to fit him. That's a little ass motorcycle.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
really?
It was tailor made to fit him because he can't ride a regular motorcycle.
Yeah, because like that's why that's every time I watch the Chappelle show, right? The Charlie Murphy skit with the basketball. It's so hard for me to imagine Prince playing basketball and like crossing people and like just dogging them in heels. Yeah, like how is that even physically possible? So Jacob,
Okay.
what do you give Purple Rain?
Well, I'm not gonna grade it near as high because one, it's like the only time I've seen it. Two, I don't have near as much nostalgic. I think that might be why I think people love it so much. I'm not trying to dog on you for loving the movie. I'm glad it's one of your favorite movies and all that. I love Prince just as much as you. I do have a lot more issues with like the acting. I didn't care for near as much, and some story elements did not go anywhere for me, like with Apollonia, for example. But when the movie focuses on Prince and his music, that's when the movie works. And I have deep respect for the movie for that. And I appreciate some of his music just a little bit more from watching this movie for the first time. If I had to grade it, I'd give it a solid B.
That's good. No, that's a fair grade. That's a fair grade. Like I was shocked. That's why I had to get my father on the phone because I was so shocked. Like everybody that comes from that time absolutely adores that movie, but my father always got to be the black sheep. Son, it wasn't all that good. It wasn't all that. It wasn't all that. I'm like, what are you talking about? My father to this day, bro. Everybody that I've tried to get to watch Cobra Kai, I've been able to convert, and they loved it. My father is the only one I cannot get to watch. I can't get him to watch Cobra Kai or Breaking Bad.
What?
He refuses to watch them. I say, Pop, Breaking Bad, this is the great. He's like, son, I've been there, done that, man. I said, no, you didn't, man. You don't even know what it's about. My father's a trip, man. I sent him a link yesterday for the trailer for that new Elvis movie coming out.
Oh man!
Have you seen the trailer for that? That movie looks great.
So good.
It looks great.
So excited to see that.
I sent him the link. I said, Pop, Chat, I said, you want to see this? Because my pop was somewhat of an Elvis fan. He's like, son, been there, done that.
Oh, come
on. What are you
man.
talking about? He's like, son, there were so many movies made about Elvis. I don't want to see that shit.
This could be. I'm thinking this is going to be the definitive Elvis movie, though.
I think so,
man.
man.
How well made it's going to be, and you got the director of Moulin Rouge. He's going to do something spectacular with this movie.
Yeah, dog. Just watching the trailer gave me chills. Like,
yes,
yeah, and mind you, I'm not the biggest Elvis fan myself, but I know of Elvis, and like I said, my father used to listen to him, and my gym teacher was like the biggest Elvis fan. If you talk about Elvis, he would curse you out.
And I grew up listening to a lot of Elvis, so he's one of my favorite musicians.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to see this movie. I guess another interesting tangent, go back to the movie Jailhouse Rock, which Elvis starred in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And there's so many similarities with that movie and Purple Rain. Like, both Elvis and Prince in that movie are kind of unlikable in both of those movies. And yet, the movies make you enjoy, the persona of both artists and the music that they both craft. Jailhouse Rock is definitely more of a fictionalized story, but it's interesting that it paints Elvis with a little bit of a harder edge because he goes to prison in that movie because he accidentally kills somebody in self-defense.
Oh wow!
And, he got charged and all that, so he spends some time in prison. He comes out and becomes like this big musician, but he has this really bad ego problem. It's really fascinating.
I've never, I might gotta check that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, Jaws Rock is because Elvis, he had a string. Most of his movies were just like overly familiar. Like he was kind of pigeonholed, and he's like safe, lovey-dovey rom-com musical film where he's always the good boy, and there's like the attractive girl, and he has to like sing to her, and that'll turn her on to him, and he sings a lot, and a lot of times he would be a race car driver in like half his movies for some reason, which is pretty weird.
I've seen some of the clips of that. I've seen some of the clips of that.
Viva Las Vegas was one of them. But yeah, there were some occasions, like some of his earlier movies where you actually get to see the potential of Elvis, as an actor. Like I think if he took more risks, he would have been a fantastic actor. Like watch Jailhouse Rock and King Creole; they are like his two best movies. And then he just kind of got pigeonholed after that. Like I read, he was almost the lead in the original West Side Story. He would have played Tony originally, but
I can see that.
His manager was like, "Nah, I don't want you to be involved in a gang." But he was involved in a gang in King Creole, so I don't know what drugs that guy was on.
Well, you know what? Well, I think, hearing what you're saying about it, man, it's probably just like, okay, stick with what works, what makes money, okay?
Yeah.
We have a formula. You just sing throughout the movie. Kids will come and see you to stick with that. Like,
And the songs are really good because, like, some of his biggest hits were in a lot of these movies. Like, Viva Las Vegas, and then Blue Hawaii was where Can't Help Falling in Love came from, and that was, like, one of his biggest hits.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's right. Just ask Eddie Murphy. Hey, Elvis, you want some lemonade?
Lemonade. I was thinking that.
Hey, Elvis,
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking that when you was talking about. I said, "Yo, Eddie," because Eddie was talking about that, man. He said, "Yeah, Elvis was a bad motherfucker. They just had him sing in his movies. He couldn't act. Yeah, we got to win this race."
Eddie needed to watch King Creole. That's Elvis' best performance.
Really?
Gotta check that out.
Man.
Yeah, he is so good in that movie. And
you got me.
Especially for a movie that came out in the 50s, it goes into some dark stuff. At least what you can get away with at that time, which was far less than what you could do now.
Very true.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, now with this new movie coming out, man, looks fucking incredible, and I can already see Tom Hanks getting nominated for like his 30th Oscar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, the actor that plays Elvis, what have I seen him in? For some reason, he looks
Austin Butler is the actor's name. I'm not familiar with him either. I'll check that real quick.
Because I'm looking at that's not the guy that played Gambit in Wolverine, is it?
No, that's what's that guy's name?
You know what I'm talking about?
I know the guy you're talking about. It's oh man, what is his name? I don't remember, but
that's what I thought that was.
But but Austin Butler, like he's been in movies. He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's right.
He was one of the Manson guys.
Yeah, the guy on the horse. What was his name? Because Brad Pitt was making fun of him. Tex. Yeah, Tex.
That's right.
Oh man, I love that movie too. Once Upon a Time.
It is so
Hollywood.
good.
Yeah, man.
And apparently he's already been cast. He's been cast in Dune Part 2. He's gonna play a role. It says.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
I'm excited for that
He's
too.
a hot commodity. Yes.
Okay. Well, shoot, I ain't gonna keep that much longer. So, this has been a fun live once again.
Yes.
Talking Prince and Purple Rain and going back down memory lane and. Actually, I need to link up with Q because I'm thinking about Top Gun now because Maverick drops in a couple of weeks and Q's never seen Top Gun.
Yep. And I was on that stream where he confessed that.
Yeah.
We were both like, what? You haven't seen Top Gun?
Yeah,
he need his ass whooped.
He said he hadn't seen the Goonies either.
Yeah. That was a shock.
Wow.
Well, the three of us got to get together and hold his ass down and beat him.
Yeah. Well, he said no. He said he's gonna watch it. So we have exactly 3 weeks before Maverick drops.
27th.
Yeah, 27th. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna link up before then, and yeah, he's gonna watch that cheesy '80s movie about the planes and the guys all oiled up playing volleyball, everybody flexing, like checking your watch and flexing your muscle there, and
with the boys.
No, there was one scene where they was in the locker room, right? And if you know Val Kilmer, he just had a towel on, but he was walking with his chest out.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, Maverick, every time you fly, man, you know, you make people feel unsafe. And he gets up and walks out. And I'm like, dude, stop.
He was auditioning for Batman early.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know if the director said everybody just do like 100 push-ups, oil yourself up, and then get on camera.
Yeah,
The
that
80s.
was,
You know what I'm saying?
that was
Yeah,
weird.
gotta love the 80s, man. So yo, before we get out of here, plug your channels in real quick. So what you got going on next? So Blacktastic, we'll start with you.
I just dropped a spoiler review for Doctor Strange and the multitude of and the multiverse of madness.
That's a
It's
tongue
kind
twister.
of a fun. It's kind of a funny spoof on spoilers, but I just dropped that, and I just also did a video. I launched my new T-shirt line coming out for the podcast that debuted last week. Cali Love. It's such a good thing. People are really gravitating towards it. That I should have a T-shirt line coming out, and I did a video for that earlier this morning to promote that.
Yeah, real quick, bro. I watched that podcast, man, and man, just the transparency and just the realness. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot to get on camera and bear yourselves like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I'm pretty sure like a lot of people related to that, and it touched a lot of people and help some people. So, bro, shout out for that, man. Like I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting just some friendly back and forth, but y'all was getting into some real like heavy shit, and I'm like, yo,
Definitely.
this is deep right here, man.
Yeah,
So-
I'm trying to slowly but surely. I mean, I'm always talk about movies and stuff, but I think we need a little something extra on our YouTube channels.
Right.
And this podcast, I'm definitely going in a different direction than I normally do, and open up the floodgates for people who need help. And because sometimes we gotta be the voice for other people. And me and Dana have been friends for 30 plus years, and she's like the perfect person to do this with, and it's
Right.
nice.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I mean, I'm a subscriber. I'm a viewer, so I'll be tuning in every. You dropping it every Sunday, right?
Every first Sunday of the month.
Every
first
Sunday of the month.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be tuned in for that.
That
man.
gives me more time to check it out. If you're doing it once a month, I definitely will check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I'm also looking forward to your new movie. What have I done? I
Oh,
loved your last one. Sarah was so good.
Yeah, goddamn jump
I'm
scares.
back. I'm back in production. I took a 2-month hiatus. Man, guys, it's you get better with time.
Mhm.
If you like The Comforter and if you like Sarah, guys, you're really gonna dig this one. It's coming together better than I ever imagined. So
Nice,
be ready.
nice. Now it's been a while since we had a good werewolf movie, man. So I'm all for it.
exactly, yeah.
I'm all for it, man. All right, so Jacob, what you got coming up on your channel, bro?
Coming up on my channel. Let's see. What do I got here?
Well, you got two channels. You have a channel for books.
I got a channel for books, which that's called Storytime with Jacob. That's actually been coming along pretty good.
Nice.
That's pretty good. Then on my main channels where I do all the movie reviews and TV reviews and all that. Video dropping on my channel tonight. I'll be talking about Goosebumps from 2015. I recently on my second channel, I checked out the original Goosebumps book, Welcome to Dead House. Very nostalgic for that series. I recently had Jacob Collins on my channel for a live stream, and we discussed Scream 4. That was a fun time.
Seen that? Yeah.
I recently watched Adventures in Babysitting for the first time from the 80s.
I love that
Vlog in the
movie. I
movies,
love
first
that
reaction.
movie.
Love it.
That movie was so good. I
Yeah.
had a blast watching that for the first
Don't
time.
fuck with the
With
Lord
the
of
Yes.
Yeah.
The babysitting blues. I love that too.
Oh man, good stuff. I
was such a
love that
good
movie.
Uh,
Wait, so is that video up, or are you gonna drop that?
The video's already out. That was just
It's
something
already
I
out,
dropped the
okay.
other day. But
Okay.
I just collabed with Blacktastic Media. I dropped the first of my Project Hanks videos where I'm going
Yes.
through a bunch of Tom Hanks movies. He's my favorite actor. And that video dropped the other day. Definitely go check that out. And some videos coming this week. Let's see. I'll be reviewing movies like Waltzes from Vienna, which is an old Alfred Hitchcock movie, which was a very weird one because it's more of a musical, which he normally doesn't do. And that was a weird movie. I'll be reviewing Radio Flyer as a video dropping this week. Richard Donner movie from the 90s. With,
I remember that.
Very young Elijah Wood. That movie's not too bad. And then my next Project Hanks video that's dropping this week, I got a collab with Stephanie from Out by the Popcorn, and we're talking about Sleepless in Seattle, which I had never seen that one before either. I like that one.
Okay.
She looks like my third grade teacher. I hated my third grade teacher. Wait a minute. She is my third grade teacher. That was so funny.
Yeah, nah, good stuff. Yo, make sure you hit me up now, cause Splash and the Money Pit. I gotta get on those. Those are my favorite Tom Hanks joints.
I definitely plan on inviting you, and I'm actually thinking of inviting you on for some live streams real soon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to, man. I ain't got no life, so hit me up.
Yeah. Blacktastic, I'm inviting you too in the future, maybe in live streams.
Guys, I'm always here. You would never get a no from me. I love you guys. I'm always here.
All right, appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Love you back, fam. Shoot, and then Jacob, I gotta say, yeah, your channel, bro, like you watch absolutely everything, man. Like, dude, like you'll drop a like in our YouTube group on Facebook, and you'd be like, yeah, so today I'm watching. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I never even heard that movie before. Like old black and white joints, and you watch everything, man. I'm like, yo, props to you, man, because there's some stuff I cannot get through.
You gotta thank Turner Classic Movies for that. I went through a phase in my teenage years where I started getting into older black and white movies, and Turner Classic Movies, that was what turned me on to some of those older films.
True cinema. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, because some of those I never even heard
12
of.
Angry Men. That was the gateway for me. That is an amazing movie. One of the best written scripts that I think I've ever seen. 12 guys arguing in a jury room. No like action or visual effects or anything. It's all dialogue and performances. Probably one of my top 10, top 20 favorite movies of all time. It is so good if you hadn't seen it.
Oh, bro, the catalyst for Tarantino, man. Like Tarantino's like he's probably the only director today that can make a movie like that, and you'll be because nobody writes dialogue like Tarantino. So shit, if they did do a 12 Angry Men remake, yo, Quentin's the guy.
Yeah, and I'm actually, people tend to get a little wary on, remakes and stuff like that. Well, it's not going to be good. Well, 12 Angry Men is right for a remake. I know some people don't like hearing stuff like, oh, it's too woke or anything like this, but I think taking that out of it, you can make a remake of this, maybe do some guys in there, some girls in there, put a couple different
12 angry people.
12 angry people. And because, how divided we are as a society, I think modernizing it, focusing on a wider group of people, I think would make whatever case they decide to do more intense, because you got different people with different backgrounds, maybe different beliefs. I think you can make a remake like that, and I think it'd be just as effective as the original.
Oh, no doubt. I like that. I like that. Yeah, no doubt. Now, as far as my channel goes, I'm working on Peter Parker Ain't Shit, my next You Ain't Shit video. So I wanted to wait till after Doctor Strange came out to see how Peter Parker affected everything of that, but he really had nothing to do with the movie. So I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna go there with that. But yeah, I should be dropping that in the next couple of days.
Nice.
Tom Holland's Peter Parker Ain't Shit. Yeah, not just based Tom Holland's
funny.
Peter Parker.
I can't wait to watch that. Roast him alive.
Yeah. 'Cause as much as I love No Way Home, I couldn't stand that kid in the movie, man. Couldn't stand him, man. I mean, not Tom Holland like the actor, but just his Peter Parker is just annoying as shit.
Thank you.
So I have to get that out, and hopefully you all enjoy it.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, no doubt. So, anyways, glad to have y'all on here, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, talking Purple Rain. We got to get together and do this again soon. I have to take a couple of shots to figure out what we're going to talk about next. All right, and shit, that's it, and that's all, man. So, y'all have anything else left to say, man? If not, then we are out.
That's it.
All right.
Bye, everyone.